We're back with Reddit reaction right here at busyworksbeats.com. Today we're going to focus on this post by Levitating Arceus, if I'm saying that right, 97. Better for longevity, singles artist or albums artist? What's better for career longevity in the pop world? Now, this is a really good question because it talks about the production and productivity that goes into your actual final product called a song, or, you know, building your fan base. What do you how much effort do you have to put out to get the results? Now, firstly, I'm not going to bash this poster, but I'll say it in a business perspective as if I'm the record label owner. Is in order to get to the one single, you have to make hundreds of songs sometimes. So regardless of us trying to say, let's just do the single thing, you still require a lot of songs to get to that one. And this is how I could tell this question really might not come from the perspective of someone who's built an album, put a lot of money behind it, done the music videos behind it. I could be wrong. This is an assumption. But I can kind of tell from the tone that, you know, the question that's in hand here is the real question, regardless of the topic, is asking, hey, should I put an effort to make a whole album to potentially get somebody to pay attention? Or should I just focus on one song and put less effort for a greater result, potentially? So all I'm saying is that in order to get to that one song, you might have to make 100 songs. I made an album before. To get to 20 songs took me 100 songs, and I had to chop it down, and it was still hard to chop it down and finish those songs. So what people don't see in the production world is how much effort goes into it. There's a lot of songs by Drake that are not released. You will never hear them. Okay, there's a lot of songs by all these artists that are just not ever going to be heard because they didn't make that final cut. So hundreds of songs, but only 20 to 30 hits the album. Okay, and I'm saying this to say, I want to expand your awareness for the poster and everybody else out here is to say, instead of asking how much effort should I put in, think you're going to have to put the effort in anyhow. So you might as well just make bodies of work because that's something to keep people around. Okay, you don't necessarily have to put a ton of money in the marketing and all this, but you need to have bodies of work so that people can go through your catalog. You know, imagine, I'm trying to think of an analogy. Singles versus an album. Imagine going to Chick-fil-A and all you got was just the chicken sandwich. You're like, this is the perfect fast food sandwich. But every time you go to Chick-fil-A, that's all you know is the Chick-fil-A sandwich. Now, would that person be loyal to Chick-fil-A? Maybe. You can't say never because I'm sure there's people who only order the Chick-fil-A sandwich and that's it. Just the sandwich, no fries, no nothing, just the sandwich. Okay. Then there's people who know the whole menu, the macaroni and cheese, the TikTok hack where you put the Polynesian sauce and the macaroni and cheese in the bag, you shake it up with the chicken sandwich, and then you put it on the bun. There's people who know, you know, about the different types of chicken, whether it's grilled or fried chicken. Then you have the people who know all the sauces, the honey roasted barbecue, the Polynesian, myself, the ranch, the, what else, ketchups, you know, they have all the sauces and they've tried them all. So you have a different type of fan when somebody understands all of the things that you offer versus somebody who just sees the one thing and just picks the one thing. It's not that anybody's wrong. It's just you have a different appreciation for somebody who's gone through your entire catalog and they resonate deeper with you. Okay, because there's more stories, there's more content, there's more relatable touch points, they call them, if we're talking marketing. So to pull up this original poster, it says, what's better for longevity? Now, when we're talking longevity, you don't get a Thriller without the Thriller album or whatever the album was called. Forgive me for not knowing the exact album. Back Against the Wall, one of those. Forgive me, people in Michael Jackson's camp. You don't get what else is a hit song that's like timeless? You don't get the Drizzy hit songs without an entire album. You need the album. Actually, here's how it works. You make a bunch of songs. Let me move this out of the way. You make a bunch of songs. Then you compile them into an album. Okay, so here's a bunch of songs, a lot of fingers. Then you compile them into an album. And then one stands out of all those songs you just made. So in order to get to the one, you have to create many. So regardless of if you do one thing or another, you're going to have to ultimately make many. That's what all the greats have done. And that's how they got that one hit wonder, or whatever it is, from any band or any artist. So I think this question is omitting the fact that it's trying to ask about effort. Let's just be straightforward. This is a question about effort. How much effort should they put in behind their music? So let's read the whole thing. It says, what's better for career longevity in the pop world? So as if pop doesn't apply by any other rules. Okay. Recently thought of this after the release of Guts. Other than Vampire, no single has Other than Vampire, no single has gained much traction, but the album is still wildly successful and critically acclaimed. Olivia built on an already massive fan base, and it's surely setting her up for a big third era. However, on the other hand, we have artists like Doja, who nabbed like 5 hits with Planet Her. What? Has a number of one smash right now. Man, this person needs a grammar exercise before they talk about hit songs. And another hit in Agora Hills, Waiting in the Wings. However, her albums aren't super commercially or critically successful as a whole. What's the career and what's better for long-term longevity? Good Lord. Learn grammar, because that will help that sentence go into the future. I'm teasing, obviously, but I'm being serious at the same time. I don't even know what their point is, because it just was all over the place. I think when people look at people who are at the top of the Billboard, for example, you might see a Doja Cat with a one top song or Taylor Swift with a one-off song. But that's because that's all the social media algorithms show us. That's all the marketing shows us, because that's the song that they put money behind. But when you watch that music video or you listen to that one song, what do? You go to the album, and that's the sticking point. That's how you build a relationship with your audience. You tell stories so that they can either tell those stories to somebody else or they relate with those stories. Think about 50 Cent. His whole marketing campaign was Get Rich or Die Trying. What do you know about 50 Cent? He got shot 9 times and lived. That's the story that he tells, his hero story. And then we tell that to other people. And that's how he markets. So I just want you guys to think, in order to get to the one, you have to create many. So don't think you could just put one song out and push it and think that it's going to have the same results as putting in your effort to create a whole body of work. The ultimate game is to keep people around. That's what TV is about. Social media is about. It's how do we keep people watching? Okay. The ultimate game for social media is not time watch. What do they call it? Watch time. Okay. And let me give you guys a secret sauce real quick. So here's the final secret sauce. So for this person who needs help with this Reddit reaction here, try this. The reason you use albums is because a song probably maxes out at about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Okay. Now the brain works off of dopamine responses and dopamine spikes. So every 8 minutes, we have a dopamine spike. It has to refuel. It peters out. So you'll have a dopamine spike when you have curiosity or when you hear something exciting. Boom, dopamine spikes, and then it goes down. But in order to recover, it takes 8 minutes. You can't do that with one song. For most songs, you can't do that. You'll lose people's attention by that time. So what did they do? They create an album to keep you listening up until you restore your dopamine, to keep you constantly reinforcing this album and this artist. That's what albums are for. And that's what social media is built around, is dopamine spikes. So I want you to take this science. I know that was a lot, but I just don't want people to think that you can put in a little effort and get big results. You have to really understand your consumer and the person who's giving you money out of their pocket. Okay. That's called psychology. So I'll leave it here, but that's my Reddit reaction for today. I want to thank everybody. Subscribe for new. Peace.